Hello, my name is Alex Tang, and I just want to continue this series on spiritual discipline and contemplative prayer. Today, I want to focus on what we call centering prayer. Okay. Centering prayer is has been in the church tradition for a long time, since the time of the early church fathers. Okay. In the second to the 4th century, most of them in the 3rd century. These are the people who went into the desert to be close to God. The deserts of Syria, Palestine, and Egypt. So we have a rich heritage of prayer in the Christian tradition, almost 2,000 years, for people wanting to be close to God and people wanting to be with God. And there are many forms of prayer. We are used to the word prayers that use words, but not so much with the prayer using our body without words, and the wordless form of prayer, or what we call the contemplative prayer. I want to share a bit about centering prayer. Centering prayer is just to focus on a certain word to help us to center ourselves. Because we live in a world that is full of tension, hurry, and worry, okay, that we are always in a hurry. There's always a stress, there's always the deadline to be met, and we're always running here and there. So we are often find that we move so fast. As John Donovan says, you move so fast that you leave your soul behind. Not that we can actually do that, but sometimes we felt that we left part of us behind. This is why we need to be centered. Centered is to where we are, our soul, our body, our mind is present in one place at the same time. And this is where centering prayer comes in. Okay, centering prayer is a Christian tradition. Okay, but what it does is it's quite similar to breath prayer. Only thing is that instead of focusing on the breath, we focus on a certain words. And let me show you something here. Okay. So you have centering prayer. We have to choose a word in centering prayer. It can be any word. You can choose love, Jesus, God. Okay. The word is not magic. Doesn't have mystical power. Okay. The word is help us to focus and still our mind and body so that we can center ourselves. I mean, one good illustration is that our mind is like a monkey, jumping here and there non-stop, or like a hyperactive kid. And the only way to still this monkey that's jumping around in our mind, which is our mind, is to have we can tie it to a stake in the center, okay, so that the monkey will remain in the center. So instead of moving around, okay. But that is a bit. I am not quite happy with the illustration. For me, is that I deal with a lot of children. I'm a pediatrician, and one of the things that I observe, especially with hyperactive kids, is that they actually can keep still if they know how to do that. So I have this experience with this child that is actually very hyperactive, would not keep still. So we thought of a way to encourage him to keep still, because every time the teacher says, okay, let's sit down, children. We're going to tell you a story. He won't sit down. He'll be just standing around, moving around. So what we did was to put a cross, okay, or mark the X on the floor with masking tape. And we tell him that when teacher says sit down, you sit down on the cross or the X. And he does that. And after a while, when teacher says sit down, he also sit down. And I think that is what the essence of centering prayer is about. Is that the word itself will help us to sit down on the cross or the X, to be still, to be centered. So that means we choose a word as a symbol of our intent to consent to God's presence and action within. Okay, so you can choose a word, any word that you think. You can be love, and you can be God, Jesus. The idea is to repeat the word again and again. Okay, as you still yourself, use the word to center yourself. Okay, and then if you have thoughts that are coming, they distract you. Instead of following them, you just push them away gently, give it to God, and then you go back to that word again, like Jesus, 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 Jesus. Okay. Now this is not chanting. Okay, we are not chanting. We are not saying a magic word. We are not saying a mystical word. Okay, so it's just repeating the word so that we can focus and still ourselves. That is what centering prayer is about. So we sit comfortably with our eyes closed, okay, and then we reduce the word as our consent to God's presence and action within. And we use we slow down our breathing, like what we did in breath prayer. And then if you have thoughts and all that, we are not emptying our minds, but we are just filling our mind, our present, our body. We're centering it and filling it with God's presence. So when we are aware of thoughts, return so gently to the word that you choose. Then you at the end of the prayer period, can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Okay, it's up to you. But then it's good to have a timer or something. Maybe your handphone will have a timer, a small thing. Okay, don't have a loud alarm or you jump. Okay, that reminds you that yes, it's time for your end of this prayer period. You remain in silence with your eyes closed for a few minutes. Okay, so that is basically what sanctuary prayer is about. Okay, so let's spend a few seconds choosing a word, okay, that you want to focus on. Maybe Jesus, love, God, kindness. Okay, don't be a complicated word. Okay, let's put ourselves in God's presence. Let's still our mind and says, "Come, Holy Spirit, come. We welcome you." And if their thoughts come, okay, just think of this word and then keep on repeating it. Okay, keep on repeating the same word again and again and again. Just focus on the word. Okay. And as you focus on the word, let your breathing be slow and steady. You breathe in, you hold, and slowly exhale. Okay, just focus on the word. Okay, just a word. Keep on repeating the word, repeating the word, until when you are so centered that you don't need to say the word. Okay, when you feel so peaceful and quiet inside, okay, and you feel God's presence, then you don't even have to repeat the word. So the word is help you to focus downwards. Okay, thing I would often use is that I would imagine in the center of me, is a room with a table and 2 chairs. And I'll sit down there and I'll invite Jesus to come and sit in the other chair. And we just be in each other's presence. Okay. So we don't have to do anything. I don't have to talk to him. We just feel God's presence. So I use the centering prayer, repeating the word again and again until I feel God's presence, and then I just enjoy His presence. Okay. So that's what centering prayer is about. Okay, so you find a place where you can pray, okay, and then you focus, and then you choose a word, and then you close your eyes, you rest your body, and then you begin to repeat the word again and again as you slow down your breathing and you rest. Okay. And if you have distraction thoughts and all that come, you just gently push it away, give it to the Lord, and just focus on repeating the word again and again and again until you feel the presence of God. Then you stop and just enjoy God's presence until your period ends. So I wish you all the best as you try this prayer. And as you pray this prayer, I'm sure it will help you to center yourself, especially in a busy day, especially when you're stressed and hurried, okay, you're full of anxiety, and you cannot focus. This will be a good prayer for you to pray. A centering, what we call the centering prayer. I hope this has been useful to you, and I hope you will try this. God bless you.